The most exciting time of the year is upon us this Saturday as we approach the road to WrestleMania. On the way to the road to WrestleMania, we got to stop at the Royal Rumble. These are our predictions. What's going to happen? What's happened on the fallout of Monday Night Raw 30? We're going to talk about that and more. Stay tuned for the takeoff. Here we go. Welcome back to the show, guys. This is the takeoff. This is your captain speaking. I'm here right now with the man, Top Gun. What's going down, brother?
Man, I'm ready for this Rumble, man.
I'm ready for the Rumble, too. Ready. It's going to be absolutely awesome, man. I think it's going to be – this is probably the most anticipated Royal Rumble since, I want to say, 2001 when Austin won it for the third time and he had came back from the neck injury, man. But – I don't know, man. This is going to be a very, very exciting Royal Rumble now that Triple H is probably going to be the one that's going to produce the whole thing. I hope so. I hope Vince McMahon just, stays at home, watches it from his couch. But nonetheless, I'm really excited about this. Let's talk about, before we get into our predictions, let's just talk about this Raw 30 fallout, man. Let's talk about how The Rock didn't even show up, man. I was so upset that The Rock didn't show up, man. There was
yes, sir.
Everything got completely changed. Instead of it being the acknowledgement ceremony, it turned out to be a trial of Sami Zayn, man. How did you feel about that?
Wingman's not here, but he kind of called it right last time. That's how we were talking about this. He's like, it's gonna be something that we didn't expect. He kind of hit it right that time. So. Right. I mean, shout out to my boy Wingman.
For sure,
he was right.
Shout out to Wingman.
How I feel about it, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I was kind of hoping for The Rock, give us a little tease, be on the type somewhat. I was kind of hoping for that, but I'm cool with The Rock not showing up just yet.
Yeah.
But if I may. I want to talk about the actual tribal court.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what we're talking about.
It wasn't what I expected, though. It just wasn't what I was expecting. Sami Zayn to get that beat down, man. But leave it to Triple H just to keep us in suspense.
Yeah,
he doesn't like to.
Man, Triple H is one hell of a storyteller, man. This thing has been carrying on for I think over a little bit over 9 months. So he's doing a hell of a job with this, man. It's gotten more interesting with so many intricate plots, twists, and turns, man, especially when it happened on this past Monday. But go ahead.
But the main thing that shook me was Jey Uso coming to defend Sami Zayn.
Absolutely.
I did not expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked. But I like it because it's pretty obvious Sami is going to betray the bloodline. I believe he's going to betray the bloodline this Saturday. So I believe it's kind of like, it's setting up a motive, for revenge.
Right.
Between the Usos, because the Usos put themselves in the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how they're going to feel if Sami Zayn betrays the bloodline or doesn't come through this Saturday.
Right.
And actually ends up teaming up with Kevin Owens. I think that's a good opportunity to kind of lay out this storyline between the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, leading up to WrestleMania. I think that's pretty smart. But of course, that's just my cap on it.
Well, another interesting twist to this entire story. The tribal chief said it's going to be his final test this Saturday. And that was before, a little bit after Sami Zayn stepped in to replace Jimmy Uso, who got injured in that tag match, and helped the Usos retain the tag team titles, man. So he proved himself once again to the tribal chief that he's down for the bloodline. But that whole scenario when he's talking about the final test, I'm wondering what that's going to be. Is Sami going to enter in the Royal Rumble? Will he have to, honor the tribal chief by eliminating himself? or helping the Usos or Solo Sikoa, making sure that certain individuals don't win. I don't know about that. But I think it's going to boil down to, of course, that WWE Universal, Undisputed Universal Championship match with KO. And he's going to have to test it, to his loyalty towards the bloodline as he goes one-on-one with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, excuse me. They're going to Sammy's going to have to test his loyalty, man, and that's going to be something very, very special. I don't know what the heck is going to happen. I'm excited for it, but I think it's going to be something special.
Yeah, I agree. I think the test is going to have to be between Kevin Owens, either towards the end of the match, because I believe the Usos are probably going to get involved in somewhat, and I think Sami Zayn is going to have to make a choice right then and there.
Yeah,
either towards the end of the match or after the match when Roman Reigns obviously beats Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I think it's going to have to be a choice, and I think he's going to make the choice. Unfortunately, the storyline between him and the Bloodline is going to have to come to an end. I think he's going to choose his longtime best friend, Kevin Owens.
Obviously, I think that's going to be that's inevitable. He's going to choose Kevin Owens. The question is, does he divide the bloodline in the process too? Does he divide the bloodline in the process too? Does Roman separate himself from the Usos because they took Sammy's side on Monday? So that's something that's also going to be a factor too, because they could play it as if the Usos have to win the graces back of the Tribal Chief by defeating Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. So that can also be a factor as well.
Yeah, I agree. There were some rumors, like, are there cracks in the bloodlines surfacing?
Right.
So that could very well be the case.
Overall,
so it's a lot of ways that Triple H can kind of win this.
Yeah,
that's why I like it.
Yeah, it's so amazing how each and every single character, there's a lot of twists and turns in their characteristics throughout the duration of this entire storyline. How did you feel about the entire show overall?
Honestly, I actually liked it. It wasn't. I wish we could have got that Across the Nations theme song. You know what I'm saying? But we started with the little.
I know.
All these flashbacks, but it's okay.
I know.
I did not want to see Hulk Hogan. I really didn't care. I'm just being honest. I think this man is. Wow. This man is on like every special. Like he's always like the guest, one of the guests. Man, I was like, man, nobody really cares. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think I like this Raw. I think it's giving us a lot of teasers, for a lot of matches that could surface at Mania. Like, for example, you talked about Charlotte versus Bianca.
I was going to get to that.
Ahead. I mean, that was one. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I don't really care much about this Sonya Deville kind of thing. I can't wait for Charlotte to just kind of put her in the back of the line.
Right.
But I think that's kind of an interesting, thing.
Okay.
I'm looking at the Miz, it's like low-key the Miz is kind of like a forgotten character, but like, man,
yeah,
this dude is so entertaining,
Right.
I think he needs to get back in. I think they need to put him in like the mid-card title picture again, man. This dude makes titles relevant. I think he brings a lot of views. I think he made the show interesting as well, especially when he sold that stunner by Kevin Owens.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot I want to talk about, like the Undertaker, of course. Yeah, but I'm not sure if that was
dude couldn't even start his bike, man. I feel bad.
Man, oh my God, this dude was struggling to drive the bike.
Yeah, he couldn't even start it.
He stalled the bike.
Sad.
Honestly, I think he allowed Bray Wyatt to do the finisher on LA Knight because he probably couldn't do the chokeslam. I'm just being honest. I think it's time, but I do want to talk about that moment whenever we get a chance. Like, what do you think was said to Bray Wyatt?
Go ahead.
Like, was he? Because I remember it was once upon a time that Bray Wyatt was like, man, he's the new face of fear. Back, I believe, at WrestleMania 31, it was this huge match between him and the Undertaker, and a lot of people speculated that Bray Wyatt was going to take the torch back then. Yeah. Now I wonder if the Undertaker finally passed that torch to Bray Wyatt this past Monday.
Yeah.
So it's go ahead.
That's what I believe it was. I think it was so much of a passing of the torch, not so much of the fact that Undertaker could have got him up, because, I mean, unless you're sandbagging is basically when you're not jumping up or lifting up with the person that's going to choke slam you or body slam you, and you're just making them lift you up, with all your strength. You know what I mean? So sandbagging is when you don't assist in the lift, so to speak. And I think that LA Knight would have sold it. I mean, he's a great performer. He would have jumped up and did whatever he had to do. You know what I mean? So at the end of it all, I think that segment was pretty cool. I would think it would have been cooler if my man, The Undertaker, was able to ride that bike and, make it look flawless and everything like this. But as far as Bray Wyatt's character, there's so many different angles they're coming at with this character. Is he evil? Is he not evil? Is he going to team up with Uncle Howdy, the rumored Wyatt Six? There's Alexa Bliss. They're saying Uncle Howdy is now Bo Dallas, his brother. So it's like there's so many different things that are going on with this character. I'm trying to see where it's going to end up at. If it were up to me, if I was going to book everything, I want to see him face Karrion Kross at WrestleMania. I think that'll be a very interesting match. I think the promos alone will be just epic between the two of them. For the fans trying to interpret what the hell are you saying type of deal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think that Bray Wyatt is going to be a very, very key focal point going forward in the WWE as it pertains to the championship belts and everything like that. But getting back to your point, you said you don't care about Sonya Deville. To be honest with you, I would agree, but I don't, because I enjoy Sonya Deville's character. I don't like the fact that she's whining, but I always thought to myself that she can be a world champion one day. Obviously not right now with the way things are going with her character on screen, but I think she has the ability. I think she has the charisma to do it. She's amazing. She's a legitimate fighter. So I think that Sonya Deville, I think she's yet to get over with the fans like she could have. You know what I mean? But I think she's great. I didn't like the fact that they used her as a pawn, because it was the match between her and Bianca was only just an angle just to set up her and Alexa Bliss, their match on Saturday. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still, like I said, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair. That it was kind of whack. You know what I mean? It was kind of whack. They didn't get a chance to really engage with each other and stuff like that.
Right.
I knew they could have. But there's that scene like I was talking about in the last episode. I was talking about, what if Bianca Belair loses on Saturday? She enters in the Royal Rumble, and the person she challenges for the title is Charlotte Flair. That right there would be one of the best women's, if not the best, women's matches of all time. And yes, I'll say it, between the two of them, because they're the two greatest athletes, female athletes, I've seen in the ring. I mean, you can also add Naomi. You can also add Sasha Banks and, of course, Kairi Sane and Io Sky. All those Asuka, all those people, but the top tier, the two best of the best in the WWE, if not all of women wrestling right now, are Bianca Belair, and it's going to be Charlotte Flair. Okay, so
I agree.
Yeah, let me call you back, man. We're gonna keep recording, but I'm gonna call you back. I gotta answer this call.
Okay.
All right, let me call you back. So so like I was saying, it's just like I think that. When it comes to the Raw 30, I think it was actually a pretty good show. You know what I mean? I agree with you on it. It was pretty nice. The best thing that I saw also was that tribal court with Sami Zayn. I think there was just so much of amazing acting out of all the guys, all the participants in the ring at that time. You know what I'm saying? Sami Zayn is just man, he's like a gem that that Vince McMahon has been burying for so long. It's like you didn't even know that Sami Zayn could be capable of this amount of great work that he's been putting out, and to hang with Roman Reigns like the way he's been hanging, and just to see Jey Uso go up there and also be just to be the defense of Sami Zayn in regards to how he's been loyal to the bloodline as of late. I really enjoyed the fact that that tag team match between the Usos and the Judgment Day. Even though Jimmy, he got injured, Sami Zayn came up in there, and it was just an emotional back and forth, who's going to win type of match. The DX segment to me went a little bit too long.
Right.
It was funny, but then it just kind of drug. You know what I mean? For far too long. I really enjoyed seeing Teddy Long, come out there, do his little dance, looking like Jiminy Cricket. But
yeah.
Also, I enjoyed seeing X-Pac and Kurt Angle again. We always see Road Dogg, we always see Triple H and Shawn Michaels, but we never you don't see X-Pac quite often. And of course, Kurt Angle, man. Kurt Angle's as goofy as ever. He did a great job. I don't like the fact that they took off their cage match, man. They disrespected the women a lot on this show, bro. Like, they didn't bring back no stars. Lita was not there. Trish Stratus wasn't there. I mean, there's so many women you could have brought back to, to this episode. I mean, I know Alundra Blaze was back there, but man, come on, man. There were so many different types of women who helped, Monday Night Raw for so many years, man. You couldn't even brought back Deborah, but I don't even know if she wants to have anything to do with WWE anymore. Mickie James, or this is so many women they could have brought back and just help celebrate this whole ordeal. But at the end of the day, man, I think that it was a good show. It was very entertaining. The main event between Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory was completely dope. It was kind of predictable because Brock Lesnar was lurking around, because Bobby Lashley said the only reason why I lost last time was because of Brock Lesnar. Who else was going to show up? Of course, Brock Lesnar. So I can't wait to see them kill each other at WrestleMania. It was so awesome the last time they fought. So I can't wait to see them beat the hell out of each other again. So you mentioned The Miz. I think he's already at a mid-card, He's been at mid-card. I just don't think they have anything for him. I don't like the fact that they linked him up with Bronson Reed. I think Bronson Reed is a vicious competitor, I don't know how they mesh well, him and, The Miz. I don't think they have much chemistry together, you know what I mean? Right. But, at the end of the day, The Miz, he can always find a way. That's the thing about The Miz. He's very resilient. He's such a good character, Now, don't get me wrong. He's not the most entertaining person to watch in the ring. But, man, this dude is one of them. And I'll be the first one to say, this is one of the most hardworking guys in the industry. Because if you look at where he came from hosting, from Tough Enough, and actually not even that, from Real World to Tough Enough, to hosting the Diva Search, to screwing up on live TV with the phone number, and then just basically having an epic moment when he gave that promo about MVP in the United States Championship, that one Monday Night Raw, about him, being kicked out of the locker room and all that stuff, type of stuff like that. He just elevated his game to the point where he was just that dude. And a lot of people say that he didn't deserve to main event WrestleMania 27. And I agree. But at the end of the day, I mean, he did work hard. You know what I'm saying? He was not that credible of a champion, but as far as hard work, he's done his fair share, so to speak.
Right.
So, anyways, but moving on, I digress. So, big shout out to AEW for putting on that memorable match with Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal. Our condolences here from the Topflyght family to Jay Briscoe and his family, the entire Briscoe family, who died 8 days ago in a tragic car accident. He was in the car with his daughters. Unfortunately, he lost his life, but we want to send our condolences out to the family. And again, big ups to ROH and AEW for putting on such a great, memorable celebration for that man's life. He was a great factor and a key to elevating tag team wrestling in the past couple of years. The last match they had with FTR, that dog collar match, was so brutal, but it was just the beauty of what real tag team championship wrestling is all about. So again, big shout out to Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, and the Briscoe family, the Briscoe brothers. We love you guys. All right, so let's get into some predictions of what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble, man. Let's talk about, we kind of discussed what we think is going to win the match, but let's not start there. Let's talk about this pitch black match. I don't know what to expect in this match, man. What do you think?
Honestly, the match itself, I don't know what to expect, but I do believe, I believe this is the match where we actually see Uncle Howdy debut. You know, like who he is. I believe we'll figure out who he is, like in this match. That's just me. Yeah, like just remove his mask. Just, you know, because it's like a mystery behind this. Like, who is this guy?
Absolutely.
You know, so I believe we'll find out who that is this Saturday. That's just me. But as far as the match itself, is it going to be like pitch black? Is it going to be dark? I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be entertaining, and LA Knight is going to have his work cut out for him.
So you think you're picking Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, I believe Bray Wyatt will win this match. I'll be pretty surprised to see him lose.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Bray Wyatt's going to come out on top on this. The question is, who is he going to wrestle as? Is he going to be the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt? Is he going to be the Fiend? Because we did see the Firefly Funhouse come back this past Friday night on SmackDown. And we also know that he's come back at this newer character that he's been walking around, you know, pretending he's not evil, but he is, not evil, but he is type of character, you know. So we saw Uncle Howdy show up and beat down Bray Wyatt. So there's so many different, you know, things that could happen in this match, which goes back to the creative genius that is Triple H, by just putting that, you know, into the atmosphere with the whole twist with Uncle Howdy, just turning on Bray. But, you know, we never know what's going to happen in the WWE, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm picking Bray Wyatt. I think he squashes LA Knight. I don't even think it's going to be that long of a match, to be honest with you.
Right. I think we're going to see, like, similar to what happened between Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. And we saw all these different characters, Bray Wyatt and different characters of John Cena.
You talking about the Firefly Funhouse match?
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. A lot of people say, oh, man, it's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. I hate that match. That is one of the most foolish matches I've ever seen. I think that match sucked,
I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar to something like that, like, in my opinion. Because, you asked that question, like, which version of Bray Wyatt we're going to see? We're going to see the Fiend. We're going to see this Firefly's Funhouse. We're going to see this, Bray Wyatt himself. Or we're going to see Uncle Howdy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw all the characters. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the characters in the Firehouse, the Firefly Funhouse. There we go, Funhouse. Yes. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw those characters, come into play somehow. So it's just it's an interesting match. It's a first time match, to be honest. So I'm just trying to see how it's kind of interesting in general. So we'll see.
What is a pitch black match? So I hope it's nothing similar to that stupid, red lighting that, the Fiend used to come out with, and everybody would watch him fighting, with red lighting. It was just so stupid. I hope it's nothing like that. I hope it's, something that is like, it goes along with the actual gimmick in a sense where there's violence. When I mean violence, I mean it's like hardcore. You know what I mean? So
I don't think it's going to be in the ring, though. I think it should be somewhere backstage or somewhere. That's what I believe.
Yeah. It's WWE, it's PG, so who knows what's going to happen. But as far as winning, I pick Bray Wyatt.
All right. Of course.
All right, so the next match we're talking about is Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Who do you got in that match?
I've been thinking a lot about what you said about the possibility of Bianca Belair fighting Charlotte. So Bianca dropping the title does make sense based off where Alexa Bliss is with this character. Now, so I'm kind of leaning towards Alexa Bliss, depending on where they are in the storyline between how much control, does she have control over Uncle Howdy or not? Because we've seen two sides of this. We've seen where Uncle Howdy has distracted Alexa Bliss in a bad way, but we also are kind of hinting that Alexa Bliss has control over Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt, because she's kind of realigning herself with him
as a prime member,
Yeah.
So it's kind of it depends if Alexa Bliss truly has this control over Uncle Howdy, and she's really leading this storyline with her and Bray Wyatt. And yeah, I'll pick Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. The question is, like, if Alexa Bliss wins, who she face at WrestleMania?
Man, that's a good one.
That's the big thing. Who does she face at WrestleMania? And if Bianca wins, who is she going to face at WrestleMania? Would it be Rhea Ripley if she wins the Royal Rumble? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to continue to lean on my own theory as it pertains to Alexa Bliss winning the title. We haven't seen Asuka for a minute. We know that Asuka and Alexa Bliss were women's tag team champions at one point, and we haven't seen Asuka in a long time. I think she returns at the Royal Rumble. I think that if Alexa Bliss wins the Raw Women's Championship, that she could face Alexa Bliss, or they can throw Rhea Ripley in there and make it a triple threat, or do something with a fatal five-way by adding Becky and Bayley into the mix. I don't know what they're doing with this whole Becky and Bayley thing. I think they might drag it out to WrestleMania. I'm not 100% sure. So there's many different scenarios. But anyway, I'm not even going to think about that. We'll talk about that on another episode. But as far as who's going to win, I'm sticking with my first prediction. I think Alexa Bliss is going to win. I think the Wyatt Six or whoever's going to come out and help out Alexa Bliss will aid her in. I think Bianca Belair will lose her title. She's had it for quite some time. Not to say that I'm sick of her, her title run. I think she's done absolutely great. She's super over with the fans. They love her. It's great to see an African American, queen who has been at the top of her game for a very long time, and it's something that African American women need to have seen in wrestling, for that matter. Just to see a dominant female champion like that in Bianca Belair. So shout out to Bianca Belair for being such a great champion. I'm not tired of her being champion. But I just want to see her fight Charlotte Flair. I don't care what anybody says. I want to see it. I want to see Bianca go one-on-one with Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I want to see how that's going to pan out. I think the Street Profits, because they like to put the couples together, right? So I think the Street Profits, they may transfer over to SmackDown. There may be another draft coming up sometime soon, but who knows? We might see Bianca Belair back on SmackDown sometime soon, along with the Street Profits. So that's that match. I think Bianca loses. I think Bianca loses the match and enters into the Women's Royal Rumble. So which brings me to the next one. Who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble?
Man, I'm sticking with my pick. I believe it's going to be Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
That's, to me, that's I like your scenario here. With Bianca Belair dropping the title, she wins the Rumble, and faces Charlotte Flair. If Bianca Belair drops the title and she enters, she has a pretty good chance of winning. But by some chance that doesn't happen, I believe it's Rhea Ripley's time. Yeah. I do, so I'm sticking with that pick.
Yeah, I think Rhea Ripley is on point in everything that she's what she's doing on TV. I mean, she's just been an amazing factor in the elevation of Dominic Mysterio's character, especially if you see the things that they've done on social media with invading Rey Mysterio's house. And of course, she's no stranger to greatness in the ring. I mean, she's been one of my favorites for a very long time, as Rhea Ripley. I wouldn't be surprised if she won it, but I'm going to stick with Bianca Belair. And if she's not able to win, let's just say by any stretch of the imagination, she wins against Alexa Bliss, she retains her title, then I think I'm going to have to go with, Raquel Gonzalez, bro. Or Raquel Rodriguez. Here's why.
Okay.
She nearly beat Ronda Rousey. And who came in after that? Charlotte Flair. So I think there's going to be that type of interesting dynamic in the story, because in the end, if Raquel Rodriguez doesn't face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, then who is she gonna face? You have to put one of your biggest stars on, at WrestleMania. You have to put them on WrestleMania, and Raquel Rodriguez is one of the most over female competitors on SmackDown. So you have to put her on at WrestleMania. So I think her if she does not win, if Bianca Belair does not win the Royal Rumble, then I'm going to have to say that Raquel Rodriguez has a very strong case to become the Royal Rumble winner this Saturday. Because if you look at it, Rhea versus Bianca, that could be a very great match. But they also did tease Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. So again, there's just so many things, that could happen. I think it's so unpredictable because they haven't really been building for the Women's Royal Rumble just yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Zelina Vega's in it, Liv Morgan's in it, Raquel Rodriguez is in it, Rhea Ripley's in it. So we don't know that many women that are in it. I think Candice LeRae's in it. So we don't know that many women that are in. They haven't really been building it up. They've been building up the Men's Royal Rumble with Cody Rhodes and the other fellas that's going to be in it. But they really haven't really said much on the Women's Royal Rumble So it's going to be very interesting to see on Saturday. So I'm going to stick with either Bianca or Raquel.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to talk about the Men's Royal Rumble match. Who's going to win the 30-man Royal Rumble match to challenge the Tribal Chief or Kevin Owens at WrestleMania? Who do you think is going to win that match?
Okay, so obviously the first two is either Cody Rhodes or The Rock. I also added, possibly Sami Zayn, just to see, depending on how they want to wing this whole, where they're going to be in this whole bloodline storyline, where Sami Zayn's loyalty resides. Because we don't know this test,
Right.
We keep talking about this test, so I also put Sami Zayn in there. You gotta put in Seth Rollins. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, to me, it has this chemistry.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, Roman Reigns, to my knowledge, I think he did kind of beat him before, but I don't think Roman Reigns has ever really beat Seth Rollins one-on-one. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, he's never beaten.
So
never.
And the last time he was in the ring doing a promo, Seth Rollins kind of cooked him.
Yeah,
he cooked the Tribal Chief, man, and he really got under his skin. And I believe that Seth Rollins would prove to be a mighty foe to the Tribal Chief, either on night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Bobby Lashley, but it looks like it's gonna be Bobby Lashley versus Brock for Mania. Due to Brock Lesnar returning, I don't see Bobby Lashley, actually winning the match. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Lesnar cost Bobby the actual Royal Rumble just to kind of add fuel to the fire, right?
I believe that could happen.
So my 4 picks would be Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, The Rock, or Cody Rhodes.
What's that? 4 picks? I told you to pick a 1, but it's okay.
It's hard, man.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's hard, man.
The way I see it, man, I think that and I'm just reading the Sports Skeeta update with The Rock coming back. There's a tease that he could return at the Royal Rumble, so I'm not 100% sure. But if you remember when I did my fantasy booking, I said that The Rock and Cody Rhodes would win the Royal Rumble match at the same time, similar to Lex Luger and Bret Hart back in 1994 when they both went over the top rope and both of their both men's set of feet touched the floor. So I would stick with that because I know they were trying to separate both titles. They wanted Roman Reigns to have his title on SmackDown, and they wanted a title on Monday Night Raw, which will make more sense because it's kind of weird not seeing a world champion on Raw and the highest ranking title being the United States Championship. No disrespect to that, a prestigious title, but it's much better when there's actually a world title to fight for.
Right.
And especially when the undisputed champion spends more time on one show than the other. So I think both of them win. If it wasn't to pan out that way, I'm gonna have to say Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes, they've been building this guy up, throughout the duration of the whole Royal Rumble. So I think that Cody Rhodes could walk out as the champion. As the Royal Rumble winner.
Right.
As far as Sami Zayn is concerned, he probably might be in the final 4. You know I did my fantasy book. He wasn't even involved in the Final Four, but I think he'll be in the Final Four. But I think that if he is in the match during the Final Four, somebody from the bloodline, you know, is going to come in there, most likely Solo Sikoa, you know, or a pissed off Roman Reigns because of the match, which we're going to get into with the world title match, and just throw Sami Zayn over the top rope, you know. So we'll think about that. I just don't see Sami Zayn winning. I know you said you might have picked him to win, but I don't see Sami Zayn main eventing WrestleMania just yet. I think he will eventually, but not this year coming up. I don't think so. Okay. So on that note, let's get to the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the WWE, or the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. How do you think that match is going to pan out?
And there are so many ways this match can end. It's crazy.
Do you think it's the main event?
I mean, because it's Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, I want to say it will be. I believe it should be, you know, to be honest. No disrespect to the actual 30 men and women Royal Rumble. I believe just because I would, if the titles were separated, I would say no. But since they're together, I believe it will.
Okay.
Because that's your main champion. You know, you only have one world champion right now.
Correct.
So, yes, how it ends, obviously we know Roman Reigns is going to beat Kevin Owens. I believe it will be a hell of a match. I believe Kevin Owens will give us his absolute best. I expect nothing less than perfection in this match. I believe the bloodline does get involved, not necessarily to help Roman Reigns win, because I don't believe he needs that, even though it's kind of typical for a heel to get help. But I believe the bloodline gets involved for the sake of the test with Sami Zayn, you know, and I believe it's do or die. Which side are you on? Because Sami low-key has been playing both sides, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's been like he lied about kind of talking with Kevin Owens, even though the Usos saw him before. You know, it's been times where he could have stopped Kevin Owens or did something, like at the contract signing, and he did nothing. But it's been times where he helped the bloodline win. Plenty of occasions where he sided with the bloodline. So I believe the bloodline all comes together at the end. I believe they're holding down Kevin Owens, and I think Sami Zayn is going to have to deliver that kill shot to Kevin Owens to prove his loyalty to Roman Reigns and the bloodline. And I believe that's what it comes down to. Man. And I think that's when Sami Zayn betrays him, to be honest, because I don't think he's going to do it.
Well, I'm just thinking about playing out different scenarios in my head. The Tribal Chief said he does not want to see Sami Zayn until Saturday. So what I think is going to happen at the Royal Rumble is this. I think there's going to be a segment with the bloodline and, you know, obviously Sami Zayn. They're going to tell him what they expect of him. The Tribal Chief will, you know. And then also, I think before the match, there's also going to be another segment between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And I think Kevin Owens is going to talk some sense into Sami Zayn. You know, I think he's going to try to talk him and let him know who his true friends are, you know, and that being him, his true friend, his number one compadre, so to speak, you know. And then that's gonna play a factor in the match. I do think that the bloodline does come out to try to help Roman Reigns. I think there's going to be several times where, you know, Kevin Owens has Roman beat, but then you're going to see somebody from the bloodline interfere. And it's going to come down to Sami. I think KO takes out all members of the bloodline. And then I think it's going to come down to Sami. And Sami's going to have to make a critical decision. And I think he's going to choose Kevin Owens. I think he turns on Roman Reigns, but I still think that Roman Reigns gets the win. You know?
Right.
I think that Roman Reigns gets the win. I think that the bloodline beats the living crap out of Sami Zayn. and they beat the living crap out of Kevin Owens. And I think it's going to set something up for on Monday Night Raw. So I just think that the Roman Reigns is going to come out on top. I think Sami Zayn is going to turn on the bloodline this Saturday.
Right. I agree.
Okay. So what is your favorite? I've been meaning to ask you. So I know Wingman is not here, but what is your favorite Royal Rumble of all time?
Oh, man. It's so many memorable ones. I mean, I could think about the 2002 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Triple H.
Yes, but that was also the moment where Maven eliminated the Undertaker.
Yeah,
my God. Yeah, I mean, of course he got the living crap beat out of him, but
yeah.
We think about the 2004 Rumble as well, where Goldberg destroys Nunzio by spearing this man. We had the iconic mind games from the Undertaker with Kane. We cannot forget about the famous slip and slide by Titus Worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
That was the greatest Royal Rumble. Nobody acknowledges that one at all. Nobody acknowledged that one, bro. Nobody acknowledged that one.
I mean, it's so many memorable.
You know what's
sad?
You know, not to cut you off. You know what's sad? The only thing that people remember about the greatest Royal Rumble is that stupid slide. You know, I think the I want to say the winner was Braun Strowman, right? But nobody talks about that. Nobody cares. They talk about Titus World Slide. Well, go ahead, man.
Yes. But of course, my favorite one will always be the 2001 Royal Rumble, where Stone Cold Steve Austin, I believe, won his third Rumble.
Yeah, that was his third.
Yes. The first two will be back to back, 1997 and 1998.
Yeah.
So, but that will be the best one for me because it set up that iconic, beautiful storyline between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania. That will always be the best one. Yes. That will always be the best one for me.
Yeah, man. Nobody can forget that My Way package. That was so epic, man. The Rock and Austin. Man, you got me going when it comes to that, man. That's my pick, but you know, I can't escape the fact that, you know, I picked 2001. That's my favorite too. Even Drew Carey was in it. That was hilarious. Drew Carey had his moment with Kane.
Wow. Yes. Awesome. You know, he eliminated himself.
Yeah. 2002 was awesome. You know, with Triple H made his return back into the game after being out for that. I think it was like a year long with that quad injury. You know, the performance that you mentioned 2004 that Chris Benoit put on. I know it's the forgotten Royal Rumble. You can't talk about that, you know, Royal Rumble because of what happened with Chris Benoit. You know, he did put out a hell of a performance. I can't say that. You know, you think about other Royal Rumble matches like, you know, the performance of Rey Mysterio. It was so, you know, emotional when he won the Royal Rumble for Eddie after his tragic passing. You know, and also you can't forget about, you know, the rise of two emerging talents in Batista and John Cena in 2005. But when I look back, you know, 2001 was obviously the best one. I think the funniest one was 1999, you know, but because of Austin and McMahon, you know. But recently I would say that the 2018 Royal Rumble, when Shinsuke Nakamura won that Royal Rumble, man, it was so awesome. There were so many great things that happened in that Royal Rumble. I mean, if you look back and think about Heath Slater, man couldn't even get to the ring. I mean, Baron Corbin, he was coming down to the aisle. Baron Corbin got eliminated, ran up and knocked out Heath Slater. I think it was Elias that came out next, and he knocked him down, and he couldn't get to the ring. And then I think Andrade, he made his debut in the Royal Rumble, and he knocked him down. He couldn't get back up. And I think it was Big E came out with some pancakes and put it in his mouth.
No respect.
And put it in his mouth. And then Sheamus comes out on his birthday. You know, here Michael Cole, it's his birthday. you know, and in 1 second, you know, he throws Heath Slater back in the ring. Heath Slater gets up, and as soon as Sheamus gets to the ring, he eliminates Sheamus. So that was very awesome. We also saw, you know, Adam Cole make his debut to, you know, the Royal Rumble, his only Royal Rumble. But we also saw that return of Rey Mysterio, who had been gone from the WWE for quite a few years. And then there was that epic, you know, showdown between the past and the present. You had Roman Reigns, you had Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor on one side, and then you had Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and John Cena on the other side, and they just beat each other up. And then it was that final four moment. It was, you know, Shinsuke and Finn Balor, and then I think it was, it was Roman and John Cena, you know, and they're booing both Cena and Reigns out of the building, man, and everybody.
Wow.
And to everyone's surprise, you know, and the right decision was made when Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble. So by eliminating Roman Reigns, you know.
You know, it's a shame that they never won their matches at WrestleMania.
Who?
I believe. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Well, you know what?
And and I believe it was Asuka too, right?
Yeah, that was terrible, man. I think that Asuka, she should have won. She should have beat Charlotte Flair. She was on the undefeated streak. There was no reason why Charlotte Flair should have won that match. That was definitely a Vince McMahon call. I didn't. That's like what they did to Booker T at WrestleMania 19. Booker T should have won that match against Triple H. Everybody knows that. But and when it comes to Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, it wasn't a bad match. I mean, it wasn't a great match either. It was just a good match. It didn't live up to the hype of, you know, what they did in New Japan. I think it was in 2017. Or was it 2017 or 2016? I think it was 2016. Or was it 20? I can't remember. I can't remember the year. Yeah. No, it couldn't have been. It could have been 2016 2015 because AJ came to the WWE in 2016. He debuted at the Royal Rumble in 2016, so it had to be in 2015. So, but it didn't live up to the hype, you know, of the Tokyo Dome clash between the two of them in New Japan. But it's okay. I mean, we got 2 more matches of that. I think it was 2 more matches, and it just didn't live up to the hype, man. So, I think WWE dropped the ball with Shinsuke Nakamura when they turned him heel. You know, he was completely over, you know.
Right.
But, you know, it's WWE, so it is what it is. Yeah. So we're excited this Saturday. It's going down, man. I can't wait. This Royal Rumble, January the 28th, live on Peacock. You guys can watch that. You know, live on Peacock. You can watch the pre-show. I think it starts at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm just, I don't know, man. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I hope The Rock shows up. There's too many teases. I know, you know, WWE likes to hold their cards close together, but then there's some times when they kind of like let everybody know what the hell was going on. It wasn't that special. But I'm just hoping that there's a few surprises that Triple H has up his sleeve. I can't wait to see what happens with Roman, Sammy, and Kevin Owens. I can't wait to see what happens with that. So anything else that you want to add before we sign off?
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to this Rumble, both women and men's. I'm looking forward to the iconic saves, hopefully from Kofi Kingston. But I'm looking forward to like the surprise entries too. You know, get a little blast from the past.
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully Lita and Trish Stratus can come. I know it was rumors for Candice. I'm sorry. Yeah, Michelle McCool. I'm sorry, not Candice. Michelle McCool.
Right.
It was speculation that she may come.
Speculation that Kairi Sane would be there too. But go ahead.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm just looking forward to like, hey, who is going to be the surprise entries? You know, like I'm really enjoy those. As long as there's nobody lame like Vicky Guerrero, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect.
I don't think it's gonna be Vicky. She's in contract with AEW, so she's not gonna show up.
And I mean, it'll be good to see Mickie James again. To see, as far as the men's, not really sure who I would see that I haven't seen in a while, but I'm just looking forward to the surprises, and I'm hoping to see some really good quality matches. I think WWE seems to be getting better at booking a storyline. Getting a little story going.
As long as Vince stays out the way.
Yeah, Raw kind of had me scared at first. I thought it was first 2 hours Triple H, last 2 hours Vince McMahon, but I think it kind of redeemed himself. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens at the Rumble. Yeah, looking forward to it.
As far as surprise entrants, I think Lita and Trish will show up. I'm not so sure about the Bella Twins. I don't know if they're going to show up.
I hope not.
I'm not big fans of theirs either. But
I hope. I really don't care. I think that what's her name? Nikki Bella's getting married, so I don't think she's even.
I think that Kairi Sane, there was rumors that she was going to make an appearance. I think Naomi's going to come back. I would love to see Naomi come back and just do something amazing. She's even have her own Kofi Kingston spots in the Royal Rumbles as well. So I think that she will make an amazing return. Michelle McCool, of course. I'm unlikely to say that Kelly will make an appearance as well, right?
Kelly, why? Why?
She has
she's she's just a model, man. I mean, no disrespect to her, but
she's a great performer.
She was not a.
She's a great on-screen talent. I don't know about in-ring performer, but she's a great on-screen talent. I think that I just had her in my mind. Alundra Blaze. I think she makes an appearance. I mean, she looks like she's in great shape. I think she'll make an appearance in the Royal Rumble and do something. They're gonna have like some kind of a moment in there with her in there. But honestly, I think when it comes to the men, man, they just signed Dragon Lee. I really want to see Dragon Lee get in that Royal Rumble and do some damage. I think it's gonna be awesome. I would like to see, him and Ricochet have a moment. You know what I mean? Just to see them two clash, that'll be so cool. I do believe that Edge does make his return. I was hoping for Big E. I was hoping for Randy Orton, but they're still injured. But they're not going to, there's nothing going to happen there. But I would like to see them bring some NXT talent up, man. I think Braun Breaker, the son of Rick Steiner, is doing a tremendous job in NXT. I think his time in NXT is up. I know they're going to set up for Carmelo Hayes to take the title off of him at Stand and Deliver over the WrestleMania weekend. I think that Carmelo Hayes is going to be the new NXT champion coming up soon. But I really would love to see Carmelo. I think even Carmelo, I think he's main event ready too. I think he's got the thing. He's got that thing. He's got the it factor. Does Carmelo? He's the man. I think out of all the people on NXT right now, I think Carmelo Hayes is that dude. He is him. Like he says. I think Shinsuke Nakamura hasn't been around for a while. I think he makes an appearance at the Royal Rumble as well. We haven't seen him. I just can't think of anybody else as far as like nostalgia purposes that I would like to see in the Royal Rumble. Right. I love Goldberg, but I kind of don't want to see Goldberg in the Royal Rumble.
Goldberg, the one who almost killed the Undertaker. No, man. We gotta let these people, enjoy the rest of their life, man.
Yeah.
I would rather see them backstage helping out the younger talent.
Yeah, I love Goldberg, man, but I don't think he's gonna make an appearance, man. I don't think Kane's gonna show up either. But the person that needs to make his return has to be The Rock.
AJ Styles.
Has to be The Rock. AJ Styles, I think he's still injured. I'll be surprised to see AJ. Hopefully he does make an appearance. I would love to see The Rock. And I said it last week. I said it in our last segment, bro. In our last episode. The return of Pat McAfee, man. The legend. Pat McAfee.
Oh my God. Legend. he's been on I love his show. I love his podcast, man. But he gotta come back.
He's the man.
He's not replacing Michael Cole though, bro. They have too much chemistry.
Michael Cole's trash. I think that Wade Barrett, he's done an okay job. He's no Pat McAfee though. Man. I think Pat McAfee needs to take his seat back at the announce desk. But man, Pat McAfee's a freaking athlete, man. He's more than just a kicker. He did an amazing job at the NXT event against Adam Cole, of course, in the War Games match. But man, he really showed his stuff at WrestleMania, man. It was just epic from his entrance all the way down to his performance. To even getting beat up by Vince McMahon It was absolutely amazing, man. But I can't wait to see Pat McAfee, man. I hope he makes his return on Saturday, man. Well, that's all the time that we have, guys. Thank you guys for listening, who stayed tuned to the very end just to hear us banter and talk about the sport that we love in wrestling. Just remember, guys, we're going to put up more content coming up soon. We're going to have, hopefully, a Royal Rumble review in the next couple of days, and hopefully Wingman can join us on that particular episode. But until then, make sure you guys watch the Royal Rumble this Saturday, but most importantly, love God, love wrestling, and stay fly. Peace.